Hey, it's Conan Gray. I just did an interview on the Zach Sang Show, and we talked about all the things wrong with this place. Hope you enjoy.
Hello, beautiful human. Thanks for clicking on our conversation with Conan Gray. I'm so excited. I love this human being, and I love you, really. The fact that we built a relationship over these interviews over the years makes me happier than a pig in poop. So, yeah, I think you're going to enjoy this conversation with one of my favorites, one of your favorites, and it's being delivered to you by GoPuff. They're my favorite delivery app, the best convenience store out there. I use it pretty much every day. Thousands of items, whatever you need, right in the palm of your hand, via your phone. Download the GoPuff app, try it out. I'll save you $10 off your first 2 orders. Just use Zach10 when you're checking out. Zach10, use it. Wherever you're at, home or studio, or even a street corner, GoPuff will come to you, guaranteed. Zach10, try it out. You'll enjoy it. And I hope you enjoy this interview. Leave your honest feedback in the comment section below. Thanks. Hello, beautiful human. My name is Zach. That is Dan, and we welcome back to the studio. Easily one of the most requested guests. Hands down, my personal favorite artist. Also, top-tier human being. And really an exceptional god amongst fucking plebes.
Ooh.
That's true.
We welcome back Conan Gray.
What an intro.
Thank you.
I've only been begging for this conversation to happen for, I don't know, maybe since the last time you were here.
Yeah, 2019.
Which was literally right before COVID.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that. It's been a weird time. And the last time I was here, I was like so much younger. It just feels very strange. But here we are.
Okay, we were talking about coming off a tour, which just happened for you. And life does move incredibly fast. Are you processing things between events, or are you just going kind of blind?
I am dissociating. I don't like to think about what's happening at all times, ever. You know how I always get asked in interviews, like, what was your, like, I made it moment? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to think about that. I don't think about that. I just smile, wave, giggle. That's all I do.
What do you think about?
Nothing. I think about getting my coffee in the morning, and then when I'm writing songs, that's when I think. And then otherwise, I'm just smiling and pleasant.
Are you living?
This year...
And I don't mean work living. I mean like living like for you as you.
This year, not doing... I haven't socialized much this year, if you can't tell. But I had a really fun, very formative year. I've been like all around the world, and it's been really, really interesting. But I actually had a question for you.
Oh, okay.
You get to watch people grow up.
Yeah.
Is it ever weird watching people grow up? Like you see them in intervals, like throughout their whole lives. I'm sure there's people that you talk to that now like fully just don't make music and like have kids. Like, is that weird?
It is. That's really a great question.
That's the best question that's going to be asked this entire interview.
We're literally 40 seconds in.
We're already bashing Zach.
Yes. And it's... The short answer is 100% yes. And it's also weird because when you look at somebody, it's two ways. Like, it is very much like a mirror, because every time I come in contact with somebody, when we sit down and talk, we talk at length, right? So like I do feel like we really cover that, at least to the best of our ability, that chapter of what was going on in that person's life around that moment. And every time that person comes back, there is this feeling of like, it's weird. Like you watch somebody grow up, but then also when you also like connect it to yourself, because there's growth on this side of the table too. It is this very, I don't know, man, it's really, really fucking weird. But it's also really special. And being able to track somebody's art and who they are through conversation over long periods of time, like I feel like I know you. I feel very fortunate to know you. And I know you primarily, like, I don't know, the handful of times we've seen each other outside of the studio haven't been really not nearly as extensive as these conversations. But like there is, like, I do feel like I get to know somebody and I get to really understand them even deeper through their art. So when you can really sync the two up and you go back over time, it is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But there are people that, like my friends, like Ariana Grande or like Liz Gillies, that come on the show, and like when you look back at those moments and you see them grow up, I also like, we grew up together, so that's like fucking weird too. It's all weird.
Yeah.
It's all very
It's all weird.
Life
That's been the
is
theme
weird.
of this year is weird.
Do you say that because you're doing things career-wise that you've never done before?
Yeah, I mean, so much changed in the pandemic that I didn't get to witness. I would just see numbers and see comments, and that's kind of like all I got to see. My whole entire life changed in this like period where I was just at home. So this year was the first time that I ever saw it with my own eyes, like how much had changed. And it was a weird year. I was like, whoa, like what happened? What has changed? It's been very interesting and super eye-opening. And
do you ask yourself like what you've done differently to bring in new eyeballs, new ears, sell out venues that you couldn't have sold out before?
No, not that. I think, I guess, my debut album came out the week that the quarantine started, and I think I expected life to be a little different after, just because it's like a body of work, life's different after you tell a bunch of people a bunch of things about yourself. But I guess I didn't expect it to be this different or something, but it's been a good year.
Does the difference propel you to live more for you or more for work?
I mean, I love touring. Like, I love it. I was really nervous when I was going to start touring again in February, because I've been on tour since February. And I was so scared. I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, I've made this life that I've gotten super comfortable with, like wake up and make a coffee and see my two friends that live in LA, and that's it. That's what I was like. That was the world that I knew. And I was super scared that I was going to like hate that life was different, like hate that I was on the road or something, but it was the opposite. I was like so happy to be anywhere other than in my room, even if it was like some gas station in Oklahoma City. Like, I'd rather be there than anywhere else.
Who are you sharing this with?
Everyone. I feel like my friends are super, like they're my family.
What is Superache? How do you define that?
Superache to me is an album about lingering love, or like lack of love. I think it's about like getting over something, and Superache is a very dramatic way of me saying like, oh, this is an album about me processing a bunch of shit that happened to me over the past few years. Because I think that the album, since I was sitting at home, the album is definitely like a very like retrospective album where I'm like looking back on things and being like, how did that make me feel 2 years later? Yeah.
Have you experienced actual love since you last met?
I don't know. I think that when you're young, almost all of love is actually just infatuation. I think love is a much deeper thing than liking someone and dating them for 2 years. I think it's more like it's like knowing everyone's flaws and still loving them when they've done you wrong a bunch of times 10 years later. I think that I've experienced true love with my friendships in life, but have I experienced romantic love yet? No. Clearly, if you listen to the songs, clearly.
I feel so understood by this music again. Are you nervous to do a sophomore album just because of the stigma that surrounds that?
Yeah, I was definitely scared, but I think I've always written just about my life, and I figured if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, don't change it. So I'm just gonna I just always have done what I've always done, and Kid Crow was just me talking about my life, and Superache is just me talking about my life. So
do you still feel like a crow?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, craziest thing. So Kid Crow comes out, then I move into a new house, and for some reason, the second I moved in, the house becomes like overrun by a family of crows, and they're crazy. They're psychotic.
What?
Okay, here's what happens. This happens every day. I've lived in this house for 2 years. This happens every day. I wake up at like 6 a.m. because all these crows fly onto my house. They fly onto the rail of my the rail of my balcony, and they all jump in unison together, and they go doom and wake me up every morning. It's crazy. And I go out there and I'm like, get out of here, and they're like fly away, and then they come back the next day. It's crazy. I don't know why. I think it's the universe. Like, yeah. I don't know. I think every good thing comes with the bad, and I loved the crows, and they were like, we don't want you.
Yeah, but now they're technically living with you.
Yeah, I guess they followed me. Yeah.
Or did you they followed you?
Did I manifest them? I don't know what happened, but they're
them?
here, and they're so loud.
But you haven't gotten rid of them. You've learned to live with them over 2 years.
Yeah, we're a family, but fuck those guys.
You know, families have squabbles sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they work through their issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Family ties. I did not hear anything about crows in there.
No, none at all. Maybe it's time that I speak about my other family, the crows. But I think we're on bad terms right now, to be honest.
Family Line is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard, by the way.
Thank you.
It is the story of your family, correct? Scattered across my family lines, I'm so good at telling lies, that came from my mother's side, told 1 million to survive. Is that true?
Yeah, I think that anyone who grows up in like a situation that's stressful or like hard to deal with, you learn how to lie. I always say like strict parents always make the most like conniving children because they're like trying to figure out how to navigate it. And I think it had so much to do with like where I grew up in Texas, and it's just kind of a song about generational pain. I think like hurt people end up hurting people, and those people hurt people, and I think Family Line is my way of saying, well, I hope that it ends with me. Like, I hope I don't end up passing this pain on to someone else later on.
What sparks that in you? Is it realizing that you could be causing pain to somebody else? Is it reevaluating where you came from?
It was definitely reevaluating where I came from. I think, like the typical like a frog in hot water metaphor. Like when I was a kid, I had no idea that my childhood was bad. I just thought it was normal. I was like, oh yeah, like this is normal. Like sometimes you don't know if you're gonna eat, like whatever. And like sometimes things happen. Like I thought that it was all normal because that's all you've ever known. But I think that now that music has changed my life so much, I'm able to look back at my childhood and I'm like, whoa, like what happened there? Like it's I think that retrospection came in the quarantine, and I looked at my life and looked at my friends' lives and the world that we grew up in, and I'm like, wow, that was really intense, and it follows you for the rest of your life, but it doesn't have to define you.
Did you not realize that your childhood wasn't normal until then?
No clue. I had no idea that my childhood wasn't normal. I thought it was normal to like move around a billion times and like be this like weird like vagrant. I thought it was normal.
Was your dad a professional arm wrestler?
My dad. Why do you know that?
For 7 years?
My dad was a professional arm wrestler. Yeah.
Which
sounds like it's made up.
Yes.
Like my whole life, when you look at it, like with bullet points, like it sounds like it was written by like a Disney novel or something, like to give a character like good character building or something. It's really, everything sounds made up.
So, well, okay, your dad's a professional arm wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
What did you? I feel like you told me what your mom did the last time, but I'm blanking on
My
it.
mom does food safety. She makes sure that people don't get poisoned from food.
That's amazing.
But like, yeah, my dad arm wrestled my whole life. He tried to make me a wrestler. I'm not a wrestler.
You're an artist.
I'm not. I was named Conan after Conan the Barbarian.
I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's who I was named after.
You've aspired to your own type of greatness, though.
It's just, I don't know. It all sounds made up.
Would you change any of it?
No, not at all. And I think that's what Family Line is about. It's about me saying, I look at my life, so many things happened. There was a lot of pain. There was a lot of ups and downs. And I grew up poor, and I grew up in these weird small towns and things. But I wouldn't change any of it because it made me who I am. And I think for so long I was so afraid that that the pain in my past was going to define my future. But now, I think after spending enough time away from it, I'm able to see that it didn't define me at all, that I became exactly who I was supposed to be, despite the fact that I was named after Conan the Barbarian.
That's really beautiful. Isn't that like that's, and you've been able to turn it into art that goes on to be understood by so many.
Yeah.
And that that is, Family Line really, just so deeply understood.
What's it like sharing this song with your family? Because you do say we may share a face and a last name, but we are not the same. Is it hard to show them a song like this where it has lyrics like that?
I think that with all of music in life, you just have to be honest. I mean, how many times have you listened to a song and thought like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Often.
You know? So many times.
Yeah.
So like the best songwriting is just being honest. And it's important because I say this all the time, but like people aren't stupid, you know, like we have these senses and we're able to understand when someone's being honest and real with us. And all of my favorite songwriting is things that, you know, you almost feel like you shouldn't say, but you have to, because people need to feel like they're less alone in their situations.
Do you remember when your mom said that she's leaving and she's going to take the kids?
I remember a lot, yeah.
There has to be some. Did you actually share it with them, or did you just let them discover the song on their own?
I usually play music for people in my life. Like, I think it's important to share music with people. There are certain people in my teens that I definitely have not played that music for them because they don't deserve it.
Why don't they?
Just 'cause.
Got it. I didn't know you played tennis.
Yeah. Why do you know? This is like Nardwar. Like, what's going on? You know all these facts about me. Yeah, I played tennis in high school, in middle school and high school.
You like ranked in Florida.
Did I? I don't think I did. I wasn't a very good tennis player. I was actually so bad that in middle school they wouldn't actually let me on the tennis team, and I just had to be the coach's assistant.
Whoa. That's insulting. No big deal.
It's like whatever.
Oof.
Let me ask you a question about the album as a whole. Was it fun to write?
No. That shit was horrible. Oh my God. It was like trying to piss out a kidney stone. Like,
yikes.
It was horrible.
Have you ever had to do that at this young age?
Oh yeah, I do it like every couple days. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, see a doctor. Jesus.
No, it was just really like, it wasn't fun. I mean, it was like having to kind of like dig up graves that I'd wanted to just put in my past. And instead I was like, so we have to process that.
But is it because it was unprocessed?
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I spent all of my adulthood post high school just working and like writing these songs being like, I am normal, I swear, and I've had my heart broken, I swear, and I'm normal, I swear. And then I got into quarantine, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm so damaged. There's so much wrong.
Are you in therapy at all?
Oh yeah,
this?
it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm able to say this because I'm in therapy.
Everything's fine.
But that's everyone. I mean, everyone has pain and everyone like deals with it in different ways. And for me, it was like, you know, like touring and like trying to ignore my life. And then in the pandemic, I really had to think about like, okay, like what is my life and what's happened and who am I? Which I think all of us did, which is why like, I think with a lot of my friends, we all like had resurgences back to who we were when we were 12, you know? Like I was watching like nature documentaries and painting and like going on hikes and stuff. I was like, what happened? Why am I 13 right now?
Do you feel like you were lying in a lot of your music early on?
Oh, no, not at all. It was just genuinely how I felt in that time, you know? When I was 17, I thought like, this is the biggest part of my life, is the fact that one time I liked someone and they didn't like me back. Because when you're 17, that's what you care about, you know? But yeah, I mean, now I look at my life and I'm like, oh yeah, there's so many other things that have happened and so much more to say. And that's what I realized, I guess, in sitting at home for 2 years.
What song kicked this album off for you?
The first one, on this album was Yours, which is a ballad. And I think for so much of the beginning of me trying to make Superache, I was writing up tempo music. I was writing like, you are mean and how dare you? Like it was all like really like like yeah, fun. Which is not how I felt at all.
Were you trying to get there? Why was that where you started?
I was trying to manifest it. Leave me alone. Like I was trying to manifest that the worst thing in my life was someone not liking me back, which is just not true. And so I was really trying to like write like, yeah, people want like a fun angry song because that's like what I knew how to do. And then amidst that, I wrote Yours, and I was like, oh God, that's like definitely more of what I was wanting to say. And then it was People Watching, and then it was like kind of more, and then I finished. The very last song on the album was Memories.
God, Memories. Okay, Memories is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Thank you.
It is like, it's timeless.
Thank you.
The arrangement, the sonics, all of it is so good.
Thanks.
I wish that you'd stay in my memories, but you show up today just to ruin things. I want to put you in the past because I'm traumatized. But you're not letting me do that because tonight you're in a fetal position. Is it about a friendship?
No, it's about, I think to me it's about like a lot of different relationships in my life, not necessarily just like one specific moment, but I think that everyone in life has that one person that just lingers. No matter how many times you think you've gotten over it, show up in your life again. You're like, why are you here? Like, please stop. But the idea like came because I was in this time where like me and all my friends were all single, but like totally not. Like there was all these like weird like situationships happening in my friend group, and I was watching it all, and I was like, Jesus, like maybe we should just actually move on from these people in our lives. And yeah, I mean, everyone has that person.
Oh my God, yeah.
That you're just like, can you please just never show up again? Because I'm really trying to get over it, but you're just not making it easy. You're making it as hard as it could possibly be.
Is there a trick to getting over somebody, whether it be a friendship or a relationship of any kind?
Is there a trick? I don't think so.
But you cut people out like tags on your clothing.
I love to cut people out. That's my move. My typical move. I love to ghost.
Me too.
You knew me? No, you didn't.
You thought
you thought you've met me? No, you haven't.
That's me.
You thought you had my phone number? What are you talking about? Like that? Yeah, I love that.
Oh, it'll get if I ghost
Not a
you,
nice thing to do to people, by the way. Don't do that.
It's so bad.
So bad. It's so bad.
No,
Don't
like
do that.
like if I ghost you and then I happen to see you out in public, like it's you're a window
Yeah,
pane.
well, it never works because then that person doesn't get over you, and then they keep trying to come into your life. So you have to. Confrontation is always the answer. Almost always.
Yeah, I know, but I never do it.
Grow up, Zach.
I'm 29 and I cannot confront shit.
It's time.
I've been working on confronting my own inner demons, you know?
Which you have a lot of.
That is, it's taking time. It's a slow process. It really is slow. But, okay.
Is this still the same person you've been writing about for 5 years? I guess
No.
going on 7 now? Oh, we're over that person.
I mean, over it would be an overstatement. I wish.
Do they keep showing up?
No, it's more just that I think that as, you know, like as I experience more and more things, I think that songs become less about like one specific person.
Mm-hmm.
They become like this amalgamation of like everything that's ever happened to you, and I'll like borrow little pieces from like my friendships. I'm like, I watch a breakup happen, I'm like, damn, that was gross, I'm gonna take some of that. Like, it's like I think it's becomes much larger than just like one person.
Are you writing alone and then going to Dan, or are you writing with Dan? What's your process like?
Most of Superache was writing alone, also just because like we were in the pandemic. And I mean, there's a few that I didn't write alone. I wrote People Watching with Dan and Julia, and that was really fun. But most of it was just me sitting at home on my guitar.
Where is People Watching born from?
it was this very specific day. It was the first time I ever met Julia Michaels, and Julia Michaels is like one of the best songwriters ever. So I was very nervous. I was like, what if she doesn't like me? What if she thinks I'm weird? And I go into studio prepared with this like, you know, with this fucking upbeat something, I hate you, and stupid, because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And then I walk in, I'm like, Julia, like, I want to do this kind of song. Like, I want to do like something up tempo. And she looked at me, she was like, do you really want to do that? I was like, Julia. And yeah, I didn't want to do that. And then I ended up telling her that I wanted to write a song. I'd had this idea for people watching forever. I wanted to write a song about people watching, about like watching people fall in love and trying to understand what it feels like for someone who hasn't felt that, or someone who hasn't been in that. And there was this one specific couple that I remember when I was going to UCLA. There's this one couple that used to come into the cafe every day. It was this cafe called Kirchhoff Cafe. It's like the cafe on campus, super hard to get a table because everyone's trying to study. And by study, you mean just stare at your laptop and do nothing. And there's this one couple that was always there, and they were always like talking about their lives or like fighting or like something. They were just like always there, and I was obsessed with them. And I would just watch everything they did. And yeah, basically I'm a creep, and that's what the song's about.
Do you learn anything from watching others?
I learn everything. I'm an observer of life. I'm not a participator. I've always just kind of witnessed it happen. And you know, I do participate in my own way. It's just not in going to parties and like getting effed up. Like, that's not who I am. So yeah, I'm much more of an observer. I've learned everything that I know about life by watching people and watching them live and grow.
Do you learn anything about yourself from watching others?
Yeah, I think so. I think like so much of life is just making mistakes and trying to learn, and watching other people make mistakes and learning from their mistakes. I think that's what life is.
Cautionary tales.
Mm-hmm.
Are you afraid that when you are in love, you're not going to know you're in love? Because you don't know what...
This sounds like a projection, Zach.
No, trust me. At this moment in time, I can confidently tell you that I have some sort of awareness as it relates to what it feels like to be in love and what it means. But I think there was a moment in my life where I was a little bit unsure that it could like punch me in the face and I wouldn't even know. Just because like you could have been in love. You call yourself a footnote in somebody's story. To be down to give somebody your being, just to just have a tiny little sliver, or like a tiny second of theirs. You have to have some sort of love. That's more than lust. So maybe you have been in love and you just didn't know.
I think that maybe I'll be able to look back on times in my life and thought, oh, I was in love then. But I think that to me, maybe because I like have abandonment issues or something, but to me, like love has always meant like longevity. Like how many times can you become someone completely new and someone would still love you that way? I mean, I have friends that I've had since the first grade, and I'm like, those people love me, and they've watched me change, and I've watched them change, and I love them. I think it's those people that you don't even have to say anything to for like 2 months, and you know they'll still love you.
But there's different forms of love.
But there's so many different forms of love, and I think that when it comes to like romantic love, I don't think I've had it yet, but I think I've witnessed so much of that. So I think I know what it would feel like. I mean, I'd hope, but who knows? Maybe I won't. We'll see.
Are you out there?
Out there dating?
Yeah, like
no. Do you know anything? Have you ever witnessed me ever?
No.
No, I'm sitting at home. I'm sitting and giggling and smiling and minding my own business.
But was it hard to come to terms with you being a footnote in somebody's life when you were down to give them so much more?
I think, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I think Footnote to me is a song about really wanting someone to see you the same way that you see them, but knowing that it's never going to happen.
And that's the hardest thing to come to terms with.
It's the hardest. And so I think once you come to terms with it, though, it's just kind of like, well, that's what it is. And I think that Footnote in particular, I normally write like a song a day But it was like in the middle of the spell where I hadn't written like anything for like a month and a half, which is like deeply alarming. And then I spent the whole entire month just writing Footnote. I don't know why. It was just the only emotion that I really felt like feeling at that time.
Was it connected to any sort of event?
Yeah,
or?
I mean, it was connected to me telling someone that I liked them and then being rejected. And I think that a lot of this album is about that situation. But Footnote is just, yeah, it's like sometimes people don't like you back, and sometimes it's not personal. Sometimes it's just like, that's what it is. I mean, we know throughout history that you just can't control who you love. You just will love who you love. And so it's like really interesting to think of it. It's like, I think sometimes you just have to like accept that things aren't going to happen, I guess.
Can you still hang out with that person? Can you still see that person? Can you be around their energy? Do they even deserve to be around yours?
I'd love to say that I'm like mature enough
No, fuck that.
to, but truthfully, like it's hard. Yeah, it hurts. That's
Yeah.
like that's the thing though. It's like that's real life, and that's what Footnote I think is very much about real life. It's like, oh yeah, like it's gonna hurt forever when you see that person. Yeah,
Because you also look and you go, what could have been?
exactly. But the what if is the most dangerous thing in the world. The what if, like, oh, the what if person, that one person that you think like, well, what if that happened? Because that's all just made up. Like, it's not real. You just have to like get rid of the what ifs.
Well, because that will distract you from what is.
Exactly.
But what if it does happen?
What if you get hit by a car right now? You know what I mean? Like, what if an asteroid kills us? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if?
Yeah.
Ooh, I feel that. Sober up. Why would I lie? It's so clear I'm in love with you. A tense conversation. You like someone else. If I say, I waited, could that maybe help? You told me that the patience won't change how you felt. That is...
Damn.
What you wrote that? Fucking shit hits.
Damn.
Does that hurt to hear or to sing?
It hurts to write, but not to sing. I mean, I go on stage and I sing it to these like beautiful, happy, smiling, sobbing faces every night, and it's like such a beautiful experience. Now when I think of this song, I think of like the way that they like scream certain lyrics, and it's just like, yeah, no, it's a very healing thing to be able to tour and sing these songs with people, because it's just like so obvious that you're not alone.
When we have this conversation now, do you see the person in your mind?
No, I just think of like
health.
I just think of like being on tour and being happy with the people who come to the shows. Yeah.
Have any of these other songs from this album taken on new meaning since you wrote them?
Totally. I think Family Line definitely took on new meaning. I think I wrote it about feeling like I don't have a family, and then through touring it and through releasing it, it's become really obvious that I actually have a beautiful family that's my own family that I got to, build myself. And I think that Memories is like, it was so painful to write, and I wrote it like it was like bursting out of my body. I was like, I need to write this immediately. And now when I think of it, I just think of like laughing because people will scream, I can't be your friend, can't be your lover, like in the most intense way in the world, that it makes me so happy and makes me laugh so hard every time. I have to like hold back my laughter when everyone's just like so happy to be singing these like miserable lyrics. I love it.
There's really something so beautiful about that.
Something so beautiful about it. I mean, it's like, it's everything. It's so nice.
Your birthday's coming up. Sorry.
God.
What, you don't want to get older?
It's not, I don't know what it is. I just can't. Gross.
What?
I hate birthdays. I actually hate birthdays. I hate attention. I hate birthdays. I feel like every birthday feels like I'm like such a burden. I hate it.
A burden on who? Those around you or yourself?
On myself. Birthdays are they're just so, I don't know, they're so bittersweet. Yeah.
I agree with that. I hate getting old.
I don't mind getting older. I think it's like, I feel like I'm gonna be a really sexy old man. Like, I feel like I'm just waiting.
You haven't peaked.
Like, I'm ready to, like, I think when I'm 60,
Wow.
it's gonna be
Watch out.
my best moments. But it's more just like, yeah, birthdays are such a reminder of like how much has changed, and change has always like freaked me out.
That is, even if it's changed for the better.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What's the most recent major change you've had to adjust to?
I think accepting the fact that I'm probably not gonna be in one place for longer than like a month for probably the next like, I don't know, for the next decade of my life probably.
Is that for work?
Just because I'm touring. I tour most of the year, and
You want to do that?
and I love to tour, and I love to see the fans, and I love to sing this music for people. So it was a kind of weird realization. I'd spent all of this year on the road. I'd spent all of this year not being home for more than like a week and a half at a time. And I kept thinking, oh, well, no, like once it's over. And then I realized that I don't think there's going to be an over.
But are you afraid that you're going to be so busy touring there, you're not going to be able to live? And then from not living life, you will dry up and we will not have music.
Dry up.
Just shrivel up and disappear.
Turn to dust.
I used to really be afraid of that. And then I made a friend this year who told me something. I kept on telling her like, oh, like, when am I going to live my life? If I'm doing this all the time, like, when am I going to live my life? And she said to me, this is your life. And I was like, oh my God. Like, yeah,
it's true.
This is my life, and it's exactly what I want it to be. It may not be like other people's. I may not like have a dog and a white picket fence, but like, this is what I chose, and this is what I want. And there's like the people that I get to see, the places that I get to go to, and the fans. It's like, makes me feel like I have my own little world.
And there's still staples in life normalcy that you can inject in that with the right people.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's
Don't use this
so much
as an
normalcy.
excuse not to love and live and laugh.
And eat and pray and love.
That's do the fucking whole thing. Let's do it all. I didn't know you had a thing for reptiles and amphibians. You used to have geckos?
Yeah, I used to have crested geckos, which is a species of gecko that comes from an island called New Caledonia.
Of course.
That they thought were extinct. They thought they were extinct in the wild, and then one day someone just found one, like after they were extinct for like 20 years. But there are these things called crested geckos. I got my first one when I was in the 2nd grade. His name was Slammer.
Okay.
Because my dad told me that if I joined the wrestling team, that he would let me get a gecko, and the wrestling team was named the Slammers. And so Slammer. Then there was Tigress, named after the tiger from Kung Fu Panda.
Of course.
And then last is Flamer. I got Flamer in the 4th grade.
Okay.
Flamer is still alive.
Where is Flamer?
Flamer is like 20 years old.
Where is he?
And when I moved from LA to California, I thought he was geriatric. So I was like, he's not gonna survive this move. Like I have to like either like make my mom take care of him for his last few years of life, because at this point he was like 14.
Yeah,
they're not supposed to live.
It's an old gecko.
It's an old gecko. And so my best friend, her little brother, loves animals and loves lizards and geckos and all those types of things. So I was like, okay, like I'll let you have Flamer, thinking that Flamer would survive maybe just a few more months. And Flamer is still alive 5 years later.
That's magic.
Wow.
I don't know what is going on, but Flamer is hanging out.
But he still lives and he's still being taken care of.
Yeah, Flamer's also crazy. Flamer ate his own tail off.
Oh, okay.
Just hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you love them.
Yeah. I love animals. I really, growing up, I wanted to be a biology teacher.
I can see that for you.
And I failed.
I mean, did you?
Yeah. I did.
I mean, I think you passed a test. Not that test.
Yeah, I didn't pass the biology test, no.
I could see you as a teacher, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I feel like I don't know how teachers stay sane with how annoying students can be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Props to them.
I don't think they do stay sane, to be
That's
honest.
true.
That's the tea.
At least they get paid well.
Jokes.
Okay.
Teachers, we appreciate you. And you're gravely underappreciated in
Absolutely
society.
underappreciated. Like they're like parents in people's lives.
pisses me off. Yeah, in a lot of cases, in a lot of schools, depending on the community, they are, a huge parental support system to so many kids. You still have a thing for Sonic slushies?
Yeah, I do. Actually, Sonic has the new thing, a new item on the menu. I go back to Texas.
Endorsement.
This is endorsed. Sonic paid me $14 million to say this. Thanks, Sonic, for the money. No, I go back to Texas all the time to see my best friend because I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah,
Ashley.
Yes,
Yep,
I'm obsessed with her. I talk about her all the time. She's the love of my life. But
we don't know you, Ashley, but we love you.
but we love you. We go to Sonic all the time. They created this new item on the menu that is cookie dough bites.
Ooh.
Cookie dough that they put in the French fry fryer, so it tastes like French fries.
What?
But it's cookie dough.
What?
And then they give you this little ice cream that you can dip it in. It's crazy.
Wait.
It's crazy.
I need it right now.
So good. They give you like 4. It's like $1.50. It's amazing. Changed my life. Best menu item. I hope they never get rid of it.
Carlos Camera, where is the nearest Sonic to our current fucking location?
There are some Sonics in California, aren't there? I think there are.
We'll
I don't see any on here. I'm looking.
get a helicopter.
Oh, we got to go to Anaheim.
Oh, it's not that far.
Anaheim.
I could do that. That's 40 minutes. That's worth it for fried cookie dough.
Yeah, and they fry it like in the French fryer.
Sweet
So that's
Jesus.
like salty. It's like, it's amazing.
Do you create false realities in your head? Because that's the image I got with movies.
Yeah.
You still doing that?
Yeah, I love to imagine. I love imagining.
Does your imagination ever get confused with reality?
Yeah. I also have like really intense, vivid dreams that like I wake up and think like, oh shoot. The other day I had a dream that my friends and I were at my friend's house, and he was cooking and he chopped all his fingers off.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And then in the dream, me and all my friends in solidarity cut off all our fingers. And I'm like, what is that a metaphor for? I don't know.
Real friendship?
I guess maybe.
When everyone jumps off the bridge,
You also jump?
too?
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, maybe you're loyal.
I'm very loyal to my friends, yeah.
Loyal to a fault?
No.
Because you cut people out like that on
Yeah.
your clothing.
No, no, I don't think so. I think it's like the most important thing in life to know when to leave or when to stay. Know when to fold them. What?
Know when to hold them?
Yeah.
But, that only comes from trial and error, I think.
Yeah. Probably.
Like, you can't, how do you know right out the gate? Not everyone
Yeah,
has
and
that inherent
I think
thing.
also like sometimes people enter your life for a specific reason, and then once you've like taught each other some lesson, you just kind of move on. Yeah.
Hard to come to terms with.
Yeah.
What were you about to say?
I'm just reading about fingers being chopped off in dreams. It says getting your fingers chopped off in a dream alludes to conflict between you and your loved ones, or you may literally be losing your grip on life. So,
I think we know which one is for me.
The question is, was there ever a grip on
In
life in the
first
first
place.
place?
I don't think so. No.
okay.
You got to listen to Superache. You definitely have. But there's a link in the description below. It's all on Amazon Music. We love Amazon Music. We love Conan Gray so much.
Are yours and Jigsaw back to back for a reason? I feel like one can lead into the other.
They are back to back for a reason. I think I was begging for someone to love me, and yours like, please love me, and that I had to hit him with the actually fuck you next because it's embarrassing. So I had to remind the listeners that even though sometimes you really want people to love you, that also fuck them. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Today, are you looking for someone to love you?
No. I'm looking to hang out and smile. Yeah, that's it.
What is the biggest change you've made about yourself to try to get someone to like you or love you?
You shouldn't have to change anything about yourself. I think that's the T.
Yeah, that's the thing. That you shouldn't have to. But have we? All, yeah. Of course. We're humans. It's fine. But Heather actually came about because when I was in high school, I had a crush on this one person, and there was this one sweater that I would wear that every single time I would walk into class and I was wearing it, they'd be like, it's my favorite sweater. I'd be like, oh yeah, like I just wore it, like, oh what, oopsies. And then I would wear it like every day, and it became like my high school sweater. It's actually, I wore it so much that the fans have deduced what sweater it is. Yeah.
So so you only wore it so they would talk to you.
Yeah. I was obsessed. What else? I don't know. You change. People always try to change themselves to be loved. I mean, that's the thing. Humans just want to be loved.
They do,
and they'll do whatever they can to be loved. And sometimes you just have to love yourself or whatever. Ugh, stupid.
But do you feel like you need to love yourself in order to have somebody else love you?
Probably, yeah.
But I do think like somebody loving you and you loving them could like introduce new parts of yourself that maybe can make you love yourself even deeper.
That is so true. Sometimes people make you uncover parts of yourself that you never even knew you had.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's a good thing.
Love tends to do that because you're tested in a bunch of different ways, and which is why I think like it's important to at least like try every once in a while to meet new people so that hopefully you can learn some life lessons. How are you meeting new people?
I don't know.
The answer's you're not.
The answer is I've never left my bedroom. No.
The grocery store?
I meet so many people on tour. And like I also think you have friends for specific things. So like I have like this group of bros, and we all just hang out. The thing about hanging out with a bunch of dudes is it's really easy. You just sit there and they just like eat meat and like talk about sports, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, I can do that. And then I have all my friends that are very emotionally intuitive and probably female, and we talk about life and actually deep things. And I think you have like friends for certain things, you know? Yeah.
That is life.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question that like I wouldn't usually ask, but people are dying to know?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite song on Midnights?
Oh, no, I don't. Oh, people are gonna really hate me for saying this.
People have been dying to know this answer.
I actually haven't listened all the way through yet. I know. I'm so.
It's okay. It's okay.
I just can't lie about it. It's just, I think I've been on tour all year, and I think especially with new like albums like the type of album that you want to listen to all the way through, you have to like sit down and like really do it diligently and like give it justice, and I just haven't feel like I had the time yet.
It's okay. But when you do,
thank you for accepting me, but I don't know if the viewers are gonna accept me for that answer.
Please don't judge him.
I'm trying my best, guys.
Accept Conan Gray.
Accept me
for exactly who
just
they are.
Just love me, please.
You used to chew on things. T-shirts
like
and blankets when you were nervous?
Yeah, all of my T-shirts from when I was like at any age had a huge hole in from this section to here because I would chew right through it with my little rodent teeth. I just like.
Do you have a nervous tick now?
I do have a nervous tick now. I have several. I crack my knuckles a lot.
Me too.
A lot. And I bite my nails. I don't bite them off. I do this.
I get it.
I have a lot. Actually, I have a lot of nervous ticks. My main one being talking. When I'm nervous, I talk a lot.
But
yeah.
No more biting up the shirts?
No. I've moved on from that. I've grown.
Your friends, was it Ashley who forced you to get rid of that?
No. I think it was just growth. And my T-shirts were not happy about it.
They were begging you to stop.
I do still like chew on things like straws and string and things. I just need something. When I was on tour, I forced myself to switch to toothpicks.
Okay.
So that I wouldn't look that insane.
That's manly.
When I was like chewing on rope or something. But It didn't stick actually. Maybe I need to go back to that.
What, do you not like the texture of the thin wood?
I just love string. It's just the best texture.
Interesting. How much string do you think you've digested over the
Probably a
years?
lot. Yeah,
Just miles of rope?
at least for one sweater's worth.
My cat once ate a string and he had a little string hanging out of his butt.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, so watch out, be careful.
Yeah. What my childhood dog had worms, and we had to pull worms out of his butt.
You will see the worms in their poop.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's gnarly.
Yeah.
How'd you know this album was done?
Thanks for asking. When the worms came out.
You haven't sat back the inside. Like, you have good posture right now. What
I
is
don't.
this?
I'm really trying to have good posture because this is my posture.
You could felt.
This is so comfortable for me, but I need to not be like that.
But really, how do you know the album was finished?
I knew the album was done when I wrote Memories. It was the only song on the album that I wrote on piano. I don't know why. But I sat down at the piano and I literally wrote the whole song in one fell swoop. Like, the voice note that I have is just me writing the whole song, like stream of consciousness, in like 5 minutes. And I wrote the very last line, "Stay in my memories," and I sang it, whatever. And I went, boom, ba-da-da-da, bum. And I was like, it's done. I knew the album was done.
When you were writing that, were you able to like hear in your head the acceleration where it goes? Like,
yeah, I think you just kind of like hear it, and it's those songs that you like have this very specific vision for that end up like being the best because you're like following your heart.
did you know that was going to be an anthem?
Yeah, amazing. No, I just knew that when I was writing it, I was like, this is the kind of song I want to sing with a bunch of people.
The arrangement on that is crazy.
Thank you.
Like, it is so fucking sick.
Thank you. I think I really wanted it to sound like a classic, like, no real like bells and whistles, just like a song.
It's forever.
Thank you.
Did you need to write every other song on that album to get to Memories?
Yeah, I did. I think you can hear throughout the album me getting to that spot. You can literally hear me going from like being in denial to like being like, I'm angry, no, I'm sad, I'm confused, what's going on? And then at the end I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get over this. Yeah.
How do you define success today?
I think I would love to say happiness, but that's not true to me. I think that I've very much defined success by having dreams and having visions and doing everything I can to make life the way that I want to live it, I guess. Does that make any sense? Not really.
No, it does.
I think to me it's like success is like, okay, well, what do you want out of life? Like what makes you happy? What makes you miserable but in the long run you think will make you happy? And then like following that. So maybe my answer is just happiness. Success is happiness, maybe, yeah.
Do you feel like you've been happy?
Yeah. I've been very happy this year. I really love working so hard that I can't see. Like working so hard that I feel like I've done everything I can. And this year was one of those years where I just feel like I did everything that I could, and I went everywhere that I could, and I saw as many people as I could, and just a year of like going back to life after so many years of not.
You got to listen to Superache, please. All of Conan Gray's music is available on Amazon Music. Plus, we'll put a link in the description below so you can check it out there. What are you thinking over there, Daniel?
On the writing credits, "Summer Child" is the only song that you didn't work with Dan on or have a co-write on. Why didn't you need help on that one?
Well, usually with songs, I'll write the first verse and first chorus, and then I'll show Dan and be like, what is the deal? Do you like it? Do you hate it? And then we go from there. And that's kind of where Dan ends up like being like, oh, well, maybe this should be where the bridge starts or something, you know? But Summer Child, I just wrote it all the way through and we didn't change anything just because I knew exactly what I needed to say. But like Memories, and I mean, every song, it's like, I'll usually write it like halfway through or like skip a verse or like skip a bridge or something and then end up bringing it to Dan being like, is this good enough for us to keep finishing? And then that's kind of where I go. Yeah.
What have you learned from Dan?
Plenty. Nothing. Horrible guy. I've learned a ton. I mean, I think that Dan and I in so many ways have learned a lot from each other. When I first started working with him, he wasn't even really doing pop music. And I was like this 19-year-old and I was like, I want to make pop music. He was like, okay. Like, you know, he was like in his 30s. He was like kind of, you know, doing his own thing. And we kind of built the sound together and built this like, you know, these stacked harmonies and
it's a universe.
And this whole like sonic palette that I think I really grew to like identify myself with. And yeah, I mean, I've learned a ton about like standing up for your vision and like following what you think feels right and trial and error. And also Dan is always like the first person to tell me to like let myself make mistakes. I think I was a really cautious person. I've always been a very cautious person. He's the first person to tell me, go do that stupid thing because it'll be a good memory and you'll write a good song about it.
That's really important.
Yeah.
What does fashion play in your life? Because you and your outfits are impeccable.
Thank you, I know.
I mean, it is, in some cases, giant heels. In some cases, not a lot of clothes, but all the clothes. It's always different.
I think fashion for me is fun. It's like self-expression, but especially I think it's like just a way of me having fun with all of this. I mean, once I realized that doesn't matter who you are, you can really just wear anything you want. Once I realized that, I was like, well, might as well wear the most ridiculous stuff in the world because it's fun. It makes you smile. It makes people smile. It makes people feel inspired. I think it's just, it's special.
Is the fashion an insight into who you are or who you aspire to be when you're on stage and in front of a camera?
Maybe a little bit of both, but I think that the fashion is much more a reflection of what I want that project to feel like, or, you know, a reflection of what that song is or what that moment is. You know, I'm not spending every day walking around in platform heels like at the grocery store.
Oh, no.
Although that would be interesting.
I mean,
I think to me it's like Superache was a really dramatic album and I wanted the outfits to feel just as dramatic as the music is. And fashion has always just kind of been like a way to express that, I guess.
Are you a dramatic person?
Quietly, yes. Yes. I won't like admit it in the moment, but then I'll go home and be like, and like write albums about it, yeah.
Do you confront people?
Yeah, I do. I actually am a confronter.
Have you always been?
No, but I think I do think it's important. It just like is easier. And confrontation makes life great because if you confront someone and they react in this horrible way, then okay, well, that good to know. Like, you know, I think it's usually better to confront.
It's true, but it's hard.
It is hard.
Final thoughts over there, Daniel?
Yeah, what's going on now? You working on a new album?
I am going on tour in Asia, and then I'm going to go to Lollapalooza in South America. I'm going to do a bunch of those, which I've never done before. So that's going to be really interesting. I've never seen any of Asia other than Japan and Korea. And Korea, I only went this year. And I've never seen any of South America. So that's going to be really interesting. Maybe it'll change me as a person. We'll see.
Fingers and toes.
Because I'm terrible now. And then I'm just gonna live my life and write. Yeah.
Do you write every day?
Yeah. Every day.
Last song you wrote yesterday?
It was called "Fuck You, Zach Sang." What did I write yesterday? There was a song yesterday. I can't tell you what if it's good.
I mean, when will you know? How do you know if a song is good?
If it sticks in your head. If you can still remember it like a week later. And you're like, oh yeah, Yeah, that's how you know.
All right. I'll check in next week.
So next time you write a song, just think about that.
You got it. I mean, I'm slowly working on my artist career.
Yeah, you are.
You think that's like the next step for me? What do you think I should do next? I need to reinvent myself.
Yeah, I think you do need to reinvent yourself.
I'm right
getting
for
tired of the shtick.
It's the same shtick every
Same thing every
time. You're telling me.
I just think it's time you get your titties out and become a pop star.
I do have, I mean.
It's time.
The
people are asking.
They're clamoring. They're beating down the door.
They can't wait.
He was singing your songs before you got here, and it was terrible.
Well, don't shoot down his dreams.
Yeah, I'm trying to be something here, man.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, but really, if you have any real constructive criticism for us, pass it
I
this
have
way.
so much. No, you're perfect, Zach.
Well, thank you. So are you.
Thank you.
Do you believe that?
No.
Do you think anyone can be perfect?
No.
Does perfection exist in any form or anything in life?
And if you meet someone who you think is perfect, they're the most fucked up.
Ooh.
That is the T.
That's true.
But I think people can be perfect for in the moment, but I think overall perfection is stupid and ridiculous to strive for.
People can be perfectly themselves.
Yes.
And that's beautiful to
and
witness.
be perfect just the way they are.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that's different than somebody being perfection.
Yeah. Then I'm like, what are you hiding?
Listen to Superache, please. And if you have any thoughts on how we can improve this fucking show, comment section below. You good?
I'm just happy to be here.
Hey, you just happy? What does that mean?
No, nothing.
Dan's usually never happy to be here.
He's giggling. Leave him alone.
It's because you're here.
Yeah, I know.
Conan Gray, everybody.
Woo!